Israel's Supreme Court has ruled that the army must draft the country's ultra-Orthodox Jews. The ruling could split Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's coalition government. Ultra-Orthodox parties are part of Netanyahu's ruling coalition, and without them, the government will collapse, leading to new elections. The court said Israel's compulsory military service applies to the ultra-Orthodox like any other citizens. Omar Ashour is a security and military studies professor with the Doha Institute for Graduate Studies and joins us live now from London. Mr. Ashour, always good to have you on the programme. A decision that has huge ramifications for the Netanyahu government and also the potential collapse of the government.
Absolutely. So there are multiple facets for that. First, politically, with the Netanyahu government, you have the two ultra-Orthodox parties who have been the most escalatory with the strongest rhetoric on the war on Gaza. They have been not willing to pay the price of that war, so they're shielding their constituency from serving in the army. Now, the court has ruled, so now their constituencies may be a bit worried and a bit unhappy, which means that this will reflect on them. And this will reflect as well on the coalition government of Mr. Netanyahu. So that's on the political side. On the military side, I think the military will be quite happy with that decision because they are suffering from a crisis of manpower. They need a lot more soldiers, especially if they opened another front in South Lebanon. And this actually decision will give them significant percent because 27% of the young men eligible for draft come from this ultra-Orthodox community. So it will boost the numbers. But also it may have some other complications because we know that out of the 5 units that the U.S. found that they are violating or committing major violations, and therefore they were investigated to be sanctioned. 4 of these units have adjusted their behavior and remediated their behavior. But the only unit, the Netzach Yehuda unit, the 97th Battalion of the Kfir Brigade, that comes from that ultra-Orthodox community, it's the only one that apparently hasn't adjusted anything and therefore may be sanctioned at a later stage.
And of course, this recent change,
also some legal implications for mobilization of ultra-Orthodox.
Yeah,
Jews.
if I can just jump in there. I mean, this recent change, certainly in the recruitment age and the length of service in terms of national service, has been that other bone of contention in the public diaspora. Many of the part of the Israeli society that isn't ultra-Orthodox will be relieved to hear what the Supreme Court has said. But it's not going to be, it's going to be cold comfort, isn't it? Because at the moment, they are still obliged to be part of that reserve, and the ultra-Orthodox may well go back to court to appeal, and there's still time for their politicians to think about what they want to do.
Yes, it's not an immediate, it will not have an immediate effect, but it's for the military, it's a step in the right way. For other segments of the Israeli society who does not belong to that segment, it's also a step in the right way. For Netanyahu's government, it's a big problem. It can end up in a collapse of that coalition. And for those politicians who were like Mr. Ben-Gvir and Mr. Smotrich, who have been escalating to levels that will frankly can place them into a rhetoric supporting war crimes or inciting war crimes. They will have to think twice about that because then you know, the hypocrisy here is very clear. When you escalate to that level, but you're not willing to take the costs, and you're going to go to the court again to appeal against the mobilization of your own constituency while keeping that political rhetoric, then you know the hypocrisy here is very clear.
Okay, we'll see what.
So it will have some serious political ramification domestically on the Israeli society as a whole.
Indeed, I think that's going to unveil itself and revolve in the coming hours, I'm sure. For the moment, thanks very much, Omar Ashour, there for us. Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.